आज इस वीडियो में हम गुलामान-ए-अब्बास स्कूल प्रीलिमिनरी एग्जामिनेशन 2021 फिज़िक्स 9 को पेपर सॉल्व करेंगे. सो लेट्स कम टू आवर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन in this paper. So, in this first question, which of the following quantity correctly matches with its SI unit? हमें करेक्ट क्वांटिटी को उसके SI यूनिट के साथ मैच करना है. सो टाइम इज अ क्वांटिटी एंड इट्स SI unit is not hours. Similarly, length is the SI quantity. Length is a physical quantity, and feet is not its SI unit. And the temperature is a physical quantity, while centigrade is not its SI unit. So mass is a quantity, and its SI unit is kilogram. So option B in this question is the correct answer. Then we have question number 2. The measurement 0.06154 round off to two significant figures. So हमें इस expression को two significant figures तक round off करना है. The expression is 0.06154. इसे अगर हम दो significant figures तक round off करें, in this we have four significant figures. So 4 को जब हम राउंड करेंगे, so our expression would become 0.06, 1 and 5. Similarly, जब हम 5 को राउंड करेंगे तो the digit before 5 is odd, so we will make it even and dropping the digit 5. So correct answer with the two significant figure is 0.062. So option B is the correct answer. Let's see question number 3. A student noted the thickness of a glass sheet by using a screw gauge. So we have a physical instrument that is a screw gauge. The main scale, we have a 3 division on the main scale and 8 division on the circular scale. We have to find the total thickness of that glass sheet. So the formula for the total reading we have is total reading equals to main scale plus circular scale multiplied by least count. So the least count for the screw gauge is 0.01 millimeters. So main scale will be 3 and circular scale will be 8 multiplied by 0.01. So our final answer would become something like this. Total reading is 3.08 millimeters. So the correct answer is in option B. Then let's see question number 4. Which of the following represent correctly the scalar and the vector quantity? Scalar और vector quantity को हमें identify करना है. Scalar energy is a scalar while speed is not a vector quantity. Similarly, scalar velocity is not the scalar quantity and displacement is not a scalar quantity. Distance is a scalar and acceleration is a vector. So option C is the correct answer in this question. Let's see question number 5. In the given distance time graph, the region with the zero speed, we have a distance time graph below and we have to identify the region in which the speed is zero. So distance time graph के अंदर इस तरह की tilted line, this shows the constant speed. ये part of the graph shows the constant speed, while this is also similar to this one. So this part also shows the similar speed, while y to z shows the negative speed. The region from W to X in which the body has covered no distance in 1 hour, it's mean the body is at rest. So the horizontal line or the line parallel to the time axis in a distance time graph shows that the body is in the state of rest. So W to X is the correct answer, that is in option B. Then we have question number 6. A cricket ball is thrown vertically upward, and this means that the gravitational acceleration on that body is minus 10 meters per second square. with the initial velocity of 12 meter per second. So we have the initial velocity. What will be the speed at a height of 5 meter? So we have to find the speed. It's mean this would become final velocity, and the height is 5 meters. Consider that it has not achieved the maximum height. So the data we have is initial velocity 12 meter per second, and the value of gravitational acceleration, that is minus 10 meters per second square, and we have the height, that is 5 meters, and we have to find the final velocity. So by looking at the data given, let's apply the third equation of free fall motion, that is equals to 2gh equals vf square minus vi square. So by putting the values, to G is minus 10, H is 5, Vf square is the required value, and the Vi is 12 square. So this would become minus 2 into 10 20, and 20 into 5 is 100, equals to Vf square minus 12 square is 144. So Vf square would become 144 minus 100, and Vf square would be equals to 44. So by taking the square root of 44, the final velocity will become 6.63 meters per second. So the correct answer is in option B. In question number 7, which of the following types of motion? All the particles of the body have the motion in a straight line. So the correct answer is option C, in which if the body is moving in a straight line, all the particles of the body moves in a straight line. So the correct answer for question number 7 is option C. Let's see question number 8. A passenger is standing in a moving bus when the bus stops suddenly, and he bends forward, and this sudden forward bending is due to which phenomena? So as we have studied that whenever a vehicle starts suddenly or stops suddenly, or it takes a sharp turn suddenly, the person in that sitting in that bus feels a jerk in the opposite direction. So this phenomena is due to the inertia of the body that resist the change in the state of that passenger. So correct answer is option A. In question number 9, which of the following statement about velocity is incorrect? Velocity के बारे में कौन से statement is false? Velocity is calculated through displacement, not distance. So this is absolutely correct, because display velocity is the displacement over time, not the distance over time. Velocity is a vector quantity. This is correct. Velocity can be negative. This is correct. So velocity is a speed without direction. So velocity is a physical quantity that requires direction as well, because it is a scalar quantity. So option A would be the correct answer for this question number 9. Then we have question number 10. A car has a velocity of 10 meter per second. It is accelerated at 0.2 meter per second square. So let's say this is vi and this is acceleration a. For half a minute, this means time is equals to 30 seconds. Find the distance traveled by the car and the final velocity of the car. So हमें दो चीजें मालूम करनी है. We have to find the distance and we have to find the final velocity. So for let's find the distance first. S is equals to VIT plus 80 square over 2. So let's find S. Value of VI is 10. The time is 30 plus A acceleration is 0.2 multiplied by the time square, that is 30 square divided by 2. So 10 into 30 is 300 plus 2 1 is 2 and 2 0.1 is 0.2. So cancellation के बाद हमारे पास यहाँ आ जाएगा 0.1 multiplied by 30 square is 900. So 300 plus point 0.1 multiplied by 900 is 90. So the distance covered by the car is 390 meters. And without finding the final velocity, the correct answer would be option A, in which displacement or the distance covered by the car is given 390. So final velocity of that car would be 16 meters per second. Correct answer we have is in option A. Then we have question number 11. Which of the following option best describe the motion of the body shown in this distance time graph? So, in this distance time graph, a straight line with the bend towards the y axis, this type of graph shows that body is moving with increasing speed. बॉडी की जो स्पीड है वो साइमल विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम इंक्रीज हो रही है सो बॉडी इज नॉट मूविंग इज इनकरेक्ट आंसर body is moving with a decreasing speed is an incorrect answer because the curve is bending towards more distance. So body is moving with an increasing speed is the correct answer, that is in option A. Let's move to our question number 12. And this question is if m1 equals to m2, then we have to find the acceleration in the string. So as we know that if these two bodies are hanging in that string are equal, so this means that both body will remain at rest. If mass of m2 is greater, then it would move downward while m1 will move upward. Similarly, if the M1 is greater than M2, then M1 will move downward and M2 will move upward. In this case, the both bodies have the same mass, so no body will move upward or downward. They will remain at rest. So the acceleration in the string would be equals to 0. In this question, we have four objects A, B, C, and D. And which of the figure will have the force of friction be minimum? सबसे कम फ्रिक्शन फोर्स ऑफ फ्रिक्शन कौन सी डायग्राम में होगी? सो एज वी नो दैट द फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स डिपेंड्स on the contact area. So in these two diagram we have a large contact area with the ground. Similarly, this triangle has a larger area in contact with the ground. So a sphere which involves a rolling friction, and we know that rolling friction is always less than the sliding friction. So this would be the correct answer, that is the option C. Let's see question number 14 and 15. On which of the following surfaces a truck moving at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour will experience the least stopping distance? So, what is meant by least stopping distance? The stopping distance is a distance covered by the body when it applied brake and then it comes to rest. ब्रेक अप्लाई करने और बॉडी के रुक जाने के दरमियान जो बॉडी डिस्टेंस कवर करती है, इट इज़ नोन एज स्टॉपिंग डिस्टेंस. सो अगर ग्राउंड और व्हीकल के दरमियान जितनी ज़्यादा फ्रिक्शन होगी, the least the stopping distance would be least. So in options we have a wet road, oily road, gravels road and smooth road. So friction सबसे कम होगी in the oily road than we have in wet road and then in smooth road and gravel road. सबसे कम फ्रिक्शन ऑयली रोड में होगी. इट्स मीन स्टॉपिंग डिस्टेंस यहाँ पर बहुत ज़्यादा होगा, जबकि सबसे ज़्यादा फ्रिक्शन मोस्ट फ्रिक्शन हमारे पास ग्रेवल्ड रोड के अंदर होगी. इसका मतलब ये होगा कि कार ब्रेक अप्लाई करने के बाद जल्दी रेस्ट में आ जाएगी. सो करेक्ट आंसर इज ऑप्शन सी, ग्रेवल रोड. Question number 15. On which of the following factor does the inertia of the body depends? So the inertia of the body depends only on the mass. Greater the mass of the body, greater will be its inertia. Let's see our next question. That is question number 16. The mass of the sack of wheat is 54 kg. What will be its weight? Mass हमें given है and we have to find the weight of the body. We know that weight is equals to mass time gravitational acceleration. Mass is 54 and gravitational acceleration is 10. So 54 into 10, the answer would become 540 newtons. So correct answer is option C. In question number 17, how much time is required? We have to find the time to change 22 Newton second momentum. So this is our change in momentum, and we have the applied force for this change in momentum. So the relation between the force, momentum and time is that force is equal to the rate of change in momentum. So for calculating the time would become delta p over f. Delta p is 22 while f is 20, and 20 divided by 2 is equals to 1.1 seconds. So the correct answer is option D. Let's move to our next question, question number 18. An object is moving with a uniform speed in a circular path. If the radius of the path is doubled, radius को अगर हम double कर देते हैं, so what will happens to the centripetal force? So the relation of centripetal force is such that mv square over r. From this relation, we can see that force is inversely proportional to the radius of the circular path. If we increase the radius, force will decrease by the same factor. And by decreasing the radius or the circular path, the force will increase by the same factor. So if radius has become doubled, so the force will reduce to half. So correct answer is option B. Let's see our next question, that is question number 19. In the given forces that are acting on that block, what will be the magnitude of the resultant force? So as we can see, we have four forces, F1, F2, that is acting towards right, while we have force F3 and F4 that are acting towards left. So the rightward forces are 10 plus 15, that is 25 Newton, and the leftward forces are 10 plus 20, that is 30 Newton. So we have the unbalanced forces acting on that block, in which 25 Newton acting rightward, while the 30 Newton force acting leftward. So the net force would be equals to 30 Newton minus 25 Newton. So the correct answer would be 5 Newton. So we have the correct answer, that is option D. Let's see our question number 20. In question number 20, we have a pencil that is standing on its tip in vertical position. And if we disturb this pencil, what will be its state of equilibrium? So as we know that if we disturb this pencil would not come to its original position. Rather, it will move to another new position that will not be similar to this original position. So this type of equilibrium is known as unstable equilibrium. So the correct answer is for this question number 20 is option C. Let's see our question number 21. The question number 21, in the given figure, if a bolt needs to be loosened by a spanner, to do this with a minimum force, what will be the a point of application of force? So इन चार options में से हम किस end पर force apply करें, so we will be able to loosen the nut with the minimum amount of force. So in this question, the diagram that we have used is a spanner uh, that can be used to loosen the nut with both of its end. अगर हम इस एंड को यूज करना चाहें तो इससे भी हम नट को ओपन क्लोज कर सकते हैं, इस एंड को यूज करके भी ओपन या क्लोज कर सकते हैं. सो अगर हम इस एंड को, लेट सपोज दिस इज एंड एक्स एंड दिस इज एंड वाई, अगर हम एंड एक्स को यूज करते हुए इस नट को ओपन या क्लोज करते हैं, सो द मैक्सिमम फोर्स, द फोर्स दैट इज अप्लाइड एट द मैक्सिमम डिस्टेंस इज ऑप्शन सी। इस डी की वजह से कोई मोमेंट फोर्स या टॉर्क प्रोड्यूस नहीं होगा, सो ऑप्शन सी विल बी द करेक्ट आंसर. Let's say if we are using the end y to loosen the nut, so the maximum distance that could be used to apply force is at the position a. इस पॉइंट ए पे फोर्स अप्लाई करके भी हम नट को ओपन कर सकते हैं if we are using the end y of this spanner. So for this particular diagram we can take both of these options as correct answers. Option A and C both are correct answers. Let's move to our next question, that is in question number 22. In question number 22, person A and B are balanced on the seesaw. The what is the magnitude of moment produced by the person A? So person A and B, let's say this is person A and this is person B. And the mass of the person A is 25 kilograms, and we have to find the moment or torque of just person A. सिर्फ person A का हमें moment calculate करना है, so we know that torque is equal to force into moment arm. So this is the mass of the person. So the force applied is its weight force, that will be equals to mg. So इस person A का अगर हम weight calculate करें, so W will be equals to mg 25 multiplied by 10. So 250 Newton will be the weight of this person A. So force becomes 250 and the moment arm is 2.5. So by multiplying 2.5 with 250, we will get 625 Newton meter. That is the correct movement of this person A. So option B we have is the correct answer. Then we have question number 22 and 23. A ship sinks in water if the weights become greater than the upthrust force acting on it. So let's say this is the surface of the water. This is a ship that is floating. There is a upthrust force acting upward direction and a weight force that is in downward direction. So if these two forces are equal, the ship will be able to float on the surface of water. If the weight becomes greater than the upthrust force, this means that the ship will sink below the water. So the correct answer is option C, that the weight of that ship becomes greater than the upthrust force, then the ship will sink. For the flotation, these two forces, upthrust and weight force, will be equal to each other. In question number 24, when juice from a pack is sucked through a straw, which of the following changes occurs? So let's say we have a can of juice, and in this can of juice we have inserted a straw. ये हमने जो है वो उसके अंदर स्ट्रॉ प्लेस कर दी. सो वर्किंग हमने पढ़ी थी स्ट्रॉ की. लेट्स से वी हैव अ जूस filled till that level. So there is an air inside the juice and that is applying the atmospheric pressure in the downward direction. Similarly, straw के अंदर वाला जो रीजन है ये वाला, यहाँ पर भी एक डाउनवर्ड प्रेशर अप्लाई हो रहा है लिक्विड के ऊपर. दोनों प्रेशर बराबर होते हैं जिसकी वजह से लिक्विड या जूस का लेवल स्ट्रॉ के अंदर राइज नहीं होगा. सो जब हम यहाँ से स्ट्रॉ के एक एंड से सक करते हैं, तो सक करने से क्या होता है, वी पुल आउट द एयर इनसाइड द स्ट्रॉ. हम इस एयर के अंदर मौजूद जो स्ट्रॉ के अंदर मौजूद जो एयर होती है उसे हम बाहर निकाल देते हैं. दैट क्रिएट्स द वैक्यूम इन दैट स्पेस. वैक्यूम क्रिएट कर देते हैं हम इसके अंदर. जिसकी वजह से यहाँ इनसाइड प्रेशर ऑटोमेटिकली बिकम्स ग्रेटर देन द प्रेशर इनसाइड द स्ट्रॉ, क्योंकि एयर मौजूद नहीं है अब स्ट्रॉ के अंदर, सो देयर द एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर विल बी जीरो, जिसकी वजह से इनसाइड द जूस कैन प्रेशर ऑटोमेटिकली ज़्यादा हो गया एज कम्पेयर टू द स्ट्रॉ, सो द जूस का लेवल राइज इनटू द स्ट्रॉ। सो इन शॉर्ट, स्ट्रॉ के अंदर जो एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर का लेवल है या जो प्रेशर है वो डिक्रीज हो जाता है, जबकि यहाँ मौजूद जो प्रेशर है वो सेम रहता है। यहाँ के प्रेशर को हमने चेंज नहीं किया है। सो प्रेशर ऑन द surface of the juice remains same while internal pressure of the straw decreases. That's why the level of the juice rises in the straw. So correct answer is option C. So let's move to our next question, that is question number 25. In evaporation, water starts converting into vapors at what temperature? So, we have studied that the evaporation is a process in which liquid converts into vapors without heating at any temperature. इवेपोरेशन का प्रोसेस हर टेम्परेचर पे होता है, उसके लिए किसी पर्टिकुलर टेम्परेचर की ज़रूरत नहीं होती, until rather this process depends on temperature. Greater the temperature, greater becomes the rate of evaporation, but for the occurrence of this process we don't need a particular temperature. So we have got a correct answer, that is option B. Let's move to our question number 26. And in this question we have a hydraulic press, and we have to identify that which of the following is our true condition for this diagram. So in this diagram we have two piston, that is piston a with area a1 and a2, and the force acting on them are f1 and f2. So the application, or this is the application for the Pascal's law, in which we have studied that whenever the pressure is applied on the liquid, it is transmitted through all the liquid equally. So these machines or these devices are also known as force multipliers. ये force multipliers कहलाती हैं, because इससे हम एक एंड पे लो फोर्स अप्लाई करके दूसरे पिस्टन पे हम एक लार्जर अमाउंट ऑफ फोर्स गेन कर सकते हैं। सो फोर्स मल्टीप्लायर मींस आउटपुट में हमारे पास फोर्स ज़्यादा होती है। सो दिस इज़ इनकरेक्ट बिकॉज फोर्स बराबर नहीं है। एज वी कैन सी, एरिया भी हमारे पास दोनों के बराबर नहीं होते, एक कम होता है एक ज़्यादा होता है, दोनों एरियाज भी बराबर नहीं है। सो ओनली फर्स्ट कंडीशन इज ट्रू, that is option A is the correct answer. Only the pressures are equal at both of these two pistons. Let's see question number 27. What is the pressure acting at point P, that is 32-meter deep inside the surface of that liquid? And the density of the water given is 1000 kilograms per cubic meter. So we have to find the pressure, that is equals to rho gh. The value of rho is 1000, density of water, gravitational acceleration is 10, and the depth under the liquid is 32. So the correct result for this pressure inside the liquid is 320, and this 3 zeros 1000. So Newton per meter square or pascals. So as we can see, the our options are in kilopascals. So let's convert this into kilo by dividing with 1000. So pressure will be equals to 320 kilopascals. So the correct answer is option C. Let's move to our next question, that is question number 28. When you go swimming, you will notice that you feel lighter in water. This is the reason behind this phenomena. जब भी हम लिक्विड के अंदर होते हैं, हम लिक्विड के अंदर लेस वेट फील करते हैं अपना, वी फील लाइटर. What happens on us is, let's suppose this is the surface of the liquid. If we are on the surface of the ground, we have only one force that is acting downward, that is our weight force. अगर कोई पर्सन लिक्विड के सरफेस के अंदर मौजूद है, सो इट्स वेट इज एक्टिंग डाउनवर्ड एंड एन अदर फोर्स दैट इज एक्टिंग अपवर्ड, दैट इज द अपथ्रस्ट फोर्स. और इस अपथ्रस्ट फोर्स लगने की वजह से वाटर वाटर अपथ्रस्ट फोर्स लगाता है इस पर्सन के ऊपर, जिसकी वजह से वो लाइटर फील करता है. सो द करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज द वाटर एक्सर्ट इन अपथ्रस्ट फोर्स विच पुशेस अपवर्ड ऑन यू. हमारे ऊपर एक अपवर्ड डायरेक्शन में फोर्स लगती है, जिसकी वजह से हम अपने आप को लाइट फील करते हैं. दिस वाज डिस्क्राइब्ड बाय आर्किमिडीज इन हिज आर्किमिडीज प्रिंसिपल. Let's move to our question number 29. So this is our question number 29. Two objects X and Y are placed in direct sunlight, and that is represented in this diagram. Which of the following object shows greater rise in temperature? So दोनों में से कौन से सब ऑब्जेक्ट में हमारे पास ज़्यादा टेम्परेचर राइज होगा? So as we can see that this is our lamp black block, while this is our silver coated block. Same amount of heat in दोनों ऑब्जेक्ट्स को मिल रही है, and as we can see in the diagram, the level of the mercury in the thermometer is higher as compared to this block X. So the reason is because black surfaces are the good absorber and good emitter of radiation. So the correct answer is Y, and option A will be the correct answer, because Y is a black surface that is a good absorber as well as the good emitter of radiation. Let's see question number 30 and 31. Question number 30. The bulb in the mercury thermometer is made up of thin glass. जो हमारा थर्मोमीटर होता है उसमें जो पार्ट जिसको हम किसी बॉडी के साथ थर्मल कांटेक्ट में लाते हैं, उस पार्ट को हम बल्ब कहते हैं. एंड द ग्लास ऑफ दैट बल्ब इज वेरी थिन. सो व्हाई इज इट सो? Because we have to transfer the heat from the body to into the thermometer with that part that is known as bulb. बल्ब वाले रीजन से हम हीट को ट्रांसफर करते हैं, और एज वी नो दैट ग्लास इज अ थर्मल इंसुलेटर. सो अगर हम बल्ब वाले रीजन को भी एक थिक ग्लास से बनाएंगे तो उससे क्या होगा? हीट को ट्रांसफर होने में मुश्किल होगी, और मर्करी इनसाइड द थर्मोमीटर विल नॉट रिस्पॉन्ड क्विकली. जल्दी से वो एक्सपेंड और कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं हो पाएगा. So the correct answer is that the mercury should respond quickly to the change in temperature if we make the bulb of the thermometer with a thin glass. Let's see question number 31. The metal cap on a glass bottle can be easily be loosened or opened with the hot water is poured over it. So अगर हम किसी बॉटल के ऊपर बॉटल के कैप पर अगर हम हॉट वाटर पोर करते हैं, सो क्या होगा? दैट मेटल इज अ गुड थर्मल कंडक्टर. जब उसे हीट मिलेगी, सो इट विल एक्सपेंड मोर एज कंपेयर टू द ग्लास बॉटल. मेटल होने की वजह से वो ज़्यादा एक्सपेंड होगा, और एक्सपेंशन की वजह से दैट कैप कैन बी लूजनड इजीली विद द हेल्प ऑफ थर्मल एक्सपेंशन. So metal expands more and glass expands less. The reason is metal is a good thermal conductor while the glass is the insulator. Metal ज़्यादा expand होगा, glass कम expand होगा, जिसकी वजह से हम इन दोनों को आसानी से लूज कर सकते हैं. Question number 32. Choose a case where no transfer of heat will occur. So the first option is when object is at slightly higher temperature than the other object. So it's mean both the object will have different temperature. When one object is at high temperature than the other, this means that option B is also incorrect. अगर high temperature पर है, it's mean दूसरा low temperature पे होगा, and the difference of temperature will result in the transfer of heat. Similarly, option D is incorrect. When one object is slightly lower temperature than the other object, it means other object is at slightly higher temperature. So there is a difference of temperature. So option C is the correct answer, in which we have two objects that are at the same temperature, so there will be no net transfer of heat between them. Option C is the correct answer. Let's see question number 33. A solid substance is placed in a boiling tube and heated constantly. The temperature time graph of that substance is shown below. At which level part the substance is a mixture of solid and liquid. Solid and liquid means we have a process of change of state in which solid and liquid occurs. This process is the melting process, and the change of state process is represented by a horizontal parallel line with the time axis. So we have two parallel lines. It's mean अगर ये वाला first वाला part हमारा melting को show कर रहा है, so it's mean this will be our boiling state, जिसमें liquid और gas दोनों state exist कर रही होंगी. So option B is the correct answer for this question number 33. क्वेश्चन नंबर 34 को देखते हैं. 34 में हमें टेम्परेचर गिवन है, दैट इज 50 डिग्रीज, एंड वी हैव टू कन्वर्ट दिस इनटू फ़ारेनहाइट स्केल. So we know that relation is F equals to 1.8 C plus 32. So the value of C is 150, and let's substitute this 50 in this equation. So F will be equals to 1.8 multiplied by 50 plus 32. इसे सिंप्लीफाई करते हैं. सबसे पहले 1.8 को हम मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे 50 से, and the result would be added into 32. So correct answer will be 122 degree Fahrenheit, that is present in our option A. Question number 35. The process of heat transfer by the collision of molecules in solid. So the question states that which by which process the heat is transferred through solid, and the process is by the collision of molecules. So we know that through collision, the transfer of heat through solid is by only one process, that is known as conduction. So option C is the correct answer for this question number 35. Let's see our question number 36. In the gases, heat is mainly transferred by which process? So the process of heat transfer through liquids and gases is known as convection. So convection is a process through which heat is transferred in fluid. So option C is the correct answer. Question number 37. Which of the following is a good radiator of heat? So we know that the dark surfaces, dull black surfaces are the one that are the good radiators, as well as the good absorber of thermal radiations. So correct answer for this question number 37 is dull black surface. Option B is the correct answer. Question 38. Convection of heat is a process of heat transfer due to the upward movement of molecules. We know that in convection, the heat is absorbed by the fluid, and the expands, volume decreases, and they move upward due to less density. और उस मॉलिक्यूल्स की जगह हाई डेंसिटी वाले मॉलिक्यूल्स उसकी जगह ले लेते हैं, और वो मॉलिक्यूल जो कि लेस डेंस होके अपवर्ड डायरेक्शन में मूव हो गए, वो अपने साथ हीट एनर्जी भी लेकर मूव होते हैं. इस तरह से कन्वेक्शन के प्रोसेस में हीट ट्रांसफर होती है. So the correct answer in this question is option C, the upward movement of molecules in the liquid or gases. Let's see our next question, that are 39 and 40. Which of the following statement is false about a vacuum flask? Uh, a hot drink stored in a flask does not lose heat and remains hot for a long time. So this might be the correct, because फ्लास्क के अंदर हीट लूज बहुत कम होती है, जिसकी वजह से हॉट चीज़ उसके अंदर ज़्यादा देर तक हॉट रह सकती है. अ कोल्ड ड्रिंक डज नॉट गेन हीट एंड रिमेन्स कोल्ड फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम. कि कोल्ड चीज़ जो है वो हीट गेन नहीं करती और ज़्यादा देर तक आसानी से उसके अंदर गर्म ठंडी रह सकती है. कॉर्क और स्टॉपर ऑफ द फ्लास्क इज़ अ गुड कंडक्टर ऑफ हीट. हमारा जो वैक्यूम फ्लास्क है या थर्मोस फ्लास्क है, उसके ऊपर जो हमारा प्लास्टिक का या कॉर्क का स्टॉपर लगा हुआ होता है, इट इज़ अ गुड कंडक्टर ऑफ हीट. Similarly, the shiny surface of the vacuum flask prevent heat by radiation. बिल्कुल ठीक है ये, कि अंदर का पार्ट शाइनी बनाते हैं ताकि थर्मल एनर्जी रिफ्लेक्ट होके वापस थर्मस फ्लास्क के अंदर हो जाए. सो दिस इज द करेक्ट वन, दिस इज द करेक्ट वन. फ्लास्क के अंदर ठंडी चीज़ ज़्यादा देर तक ठंडी रहती है एंड गर्म चीज़ ज़्यादा देर तक गर्म रहती है. सो ऑप्शन सी इज़ द करेक्ट आंसर, दैट इज़ द फॉल्स स्टेटमेंट अबाउट द फ्लास्क. कि कॉर्क या स्टॉपर जो फ्लास्क के अंदर लगाते हैं, इट इज़ द गुड कंडक्टर ऑफ हीट. रादर इट इज़ द इंसुलेटर दैट इज़ यूज्ड एज अ स्टॉपर इन अ थर्मस फ्लास्क. Last, we have question number 40. Metals are we know that metals are a good conductor of heat, and the reason behind this phenomena or this best conduction is the free electrons. We know that the conduction through solid is a slow process, but in metals we have free electrons that absorb heat from the colder part, and by without transferring it to the neighboring molecules, these free electrons absorb heat and directly moves towards the cold part by taking their thermal energy. So option A is the correct answer for this last question of our theory paper. Then we have our alternative practical paper in which we have 10 questions. Let's see question number 41. The main scale reading in the vernier caliper. So main scale reading हमें सिर्फ identify करनी है. So for main scale we know that we have to take the position of this vernier scale 0. कि वर्नियर स्केल 0 हमारा किस पोजीशन पर लाई कर रहा है. सो एज वी कैन सी दैट हमारा जो वर्नियर कैलिपर का वर्नियर स्केल का 0 है, इट हैज़ क्रॉस्ड दिस डिवीजन, and the value of this division is 1.1. This is 1, and the 1 division after 1 is equals to 1.1. So main scale reading is वर्नियर caliper के अंदर 1.1 है. So option C is the correct answer. Then we have question number 42, in which we have a diagram of the screw gauge, and this is screw gauge. We have to find the total reading. So total reading, we know that it is equal to main scale plus least count multiplied by circular scale. The main scale reading in this diagram, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and the line below this reference line is 6.5. So main scale will become 6.5, while the circular scale is 18. हमारे पास 20 से पहले सेकेंड लाइन है, दैट इज 18, एंड लीस्ट काउंट इज 0.01. सो हम इसको सॉल्व करेंगे तो 6.5 प्लस 0.01 मल्टीप्लाई बाय 1.8, it will become 0.018. So the total reading in this diagram is 6.68. That is, unfortunately, we have a typing mistake. So this will be centimeter and this is millimeter. So let's take both of these two options as the correct one, because in option B we have 6.68 millimeters, while option D we have 6.68 millimeters. So in question number 42, the option B and option D, we can mark both of these two options as the correct answer of this question. Let's move to our question number 43. In this question, we have our distance time graph, and we have to identify that how long the vehicle was at rest. So as we can see the position of the horizontal line in this graph that starts from this point and ends at this point. The region B shows the body that is in the state of rest. So the part of this graph that starts at 11 and ends at 12 is the reason that shows that the body is at rest. So the difference of this time is 1 hour. So we can say that the body was in the state of rest for 1 hour. Option A is the correct answer. Let's move to our question number 44. In this question number 44, we have a vector diagram that shows the addition of two vectors followed by their resultant. So addition, we know that addition is done by the rule that is known as head to tail rule. And the resultant vector we have to identify in this question. So just remember how resultant vector can be identified in a drawn diagram, or how can we draw a resultant vector. So we know that vector has a tail and head. So for the identification of resultant, its tail joins with tail of first vector and its head joined with last vector, the head of लास्ट वेक्टर. हमेशा रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर को ड्रॉ करने का तरीका ये होता है कि रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर का जो टेल है वो फर्स्ट वेक्टर की टेल के साथ लगती है, जबकि रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर का जो हेड है वो हमेशा हेड के साथ लगता है. सो एज वी कैन सी, दिस वेक्टर सी इज द वन इन विच इसका हेड जो है वो ए वेक्टर ए के हेड के साथ लग रहा है, और टेल जो है वो वेक्टर बी की टेल के साथ लग रही है. इसके अलावा बाकी तमाम वेक्टर में एक हेड और एक टेल मौजूद होती है, जबकि रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर के अंदर टेल टेल के साथ ज्वाइंट होती है और हेड हेड के साथ ज्वाइंट होता है. सो इन दिस डायग्राम vector C is the resultant vector. So option A will be our correct answer. Let's see question number 45. In this question, a load of 10 Newton is hanging on the spring as shown. And what is the extension of the spring due to the load? हमें extension identify करनी है. So as we can see that the initial position is 3. इनिशियल पोजीशन हमें नज़र आ रही है 3, और फाइनल पोजीशन हमें 10 न्यूटन फोर्स की वजह से नज़र आ रही है, दैट इज़ 10. सो इनिशियल पोजीशन और फाइनल पोजीशन को अगर हम सब्ट्रैक्ट कर दें, सो वी विल गेट 10 माइनस 3, दैट इज़ 7 सेंटीमीटर्स. सो इस 10 न्यूटन ब्लॉक की वजह से जो एक्सटेंशन हुई है इस स्प्रिंग के अंदर, that it is 7 centimeters. So correct option is option D. Let's come to our next question, that is question number 46. If a block of mass 5 kilogram is hanging to the end of the string, what is the tension in the string? So if it is balanced, this means that the downward force is the weight force and upward force is the tension force. So in this case, tension is equal to weight force. वेट फाइंड आउट करने के लिए हम एम जी फॉर्मूला अप्लाई कर देते. इफ मास इज 5, ग्रेविटेशनल एक्सेलरेशन इज 10, सो इट विल बी इक्वल्स टू 50 न्यूटन. सो इस ब्लॉक का वेट है वो 50 न्यूटन है डाउनवर्ड. एंड इफ इट इज बैलेंस, सो टेंशन विल बी इक्वल्स टू वेट फोर्स. तो 50 न्यूटन अगर वेट है तो 50 न्यूटन ही टेंशन फोर्स होगी. करेक्ट आंसर इज ऑप्शन सी. Let's come to our question number 47. Two children are sitting on the end of a balanced seesaw. दो चिल्ड्रंस हैं जो कि बैलेंस्ड सी सॉ पर प्ले कर रहे हैं. एंड बैलेंस्ड मीन्स, the term balanced means the clockwise torque is equal to the anti-clockwise torque, or the net torque acting on that body is equal to zero. Net torque उस बॉडी के ऊपर जीरो होगा if the body is balanced. अगर बैलेंस नहीं है तो बॉडी का क्लॉकवाइज टॉर्क ज्यादा होगा या फिर एंटी क्लॉकवाइज टॉर्क ज्यादा होगा. सो बैलेंस वर्ड से वी कैन judge that the net torque acting on that seesaw is equal to 0. Then we have question number 48. Which of the following, which item in the following figure has the lowest density? Lowest density in सब में किस ऑब्जेक्ट की है? सो वी नो दैट जिस ऑब्जेक्ट की डेंसिटी सबसे कम होगी या फिर कम होगी, वो ऑब्जेक्ट जो है वो लाइटर कहलाता है. और वो वाटर से, वाटर के अंदर यहाँ तीन ऑब्जेक्ट्स को हमने sink किया है. And as we can see that ice cube is floating on the surface, it's mean this density of ice in this case is less than the liquid, that water that is in this container. So ये जो ice है, it is less dense than water, जिसकी वजह से वो water के surface के ऊपर float कर रही है. So the correct answer is ice cube, that is option A. Let's come to our question number 49. When ice is melting, the temperature remains constant at 0 degrees centigrade. Melting means solids convert into liquid. Solid जब liquid के अंदर convert हो रहा है, तो इस conversion के दौरान temperature हमेशा constant रहता है. Why it is so? Because melting और boiling किसी भी change of state के process के दौरान the amount of heat absorbed by that substance is utilized in breaking the bonds of that substance. So टेम्परेचर राइज करने के बजाय वो अमाउंट ऑफ हीट उस मॉलिक्यूल के, उस सब्सटेंस के मॉलिक्यूल्स को ब्रेक करने में यूटिलाइज होती है. सो all the heat supplied is used to break the bonds between the water molecules. इसी वजह से उस सब्सटेंस का टेम्परेचर राइज नहीं होता. So the correct answer for this question number 49 will be option C. Let's come to our last question of our this preliminary examination paper, that is question number 50. Which of the following arrow is associated with the latent heat of fusion? So if you recall what is fusion, fusion is the change of state from solid एंड लिक्विड. सॉलिड और लिक्विड के दरमियान जो इंटर कन्वर्जन प्रोसेस है, दिस इज फ्यूजन. एंड द हीट रिक्वायर्ड टू दिस इन दिस प्रोसेस इज द लेटेंट हीट ऑफ फ्यूजन. सो एरो 1 from ice to water will be the correct answer for this question number 50.